ערב שבת קודש, פרשת תזריע, תשפ"ד. The of ספר ויקרא are donated by Raymond Saka, לעילוי נשמתה של רבי ישעיה בן לורה, עליו השלום, רוח השם תניחנו בגן עדן, אמן. ולהבדיל, פרשת תזריע was sponsored by Yaakov Mala, who is learning outstanding in Eretz Israel now. And he did it lechavod his father, Yitzchak. Kadosh Baruch Hu will bless him, his wife, his little boy, his father, and all his family with bracha v'atzlacha, and both of them should have nachat from all their children. Amen. This week's parasha, Parashat Tazria, the pasuk says, Perek Yud Gimel, pasuk Aleph Bet. וידבר אדוני אל משה ואל אהרון לאמור, אדם כי יהיה באור בשרו, שעית או ספחת או בהרת, והיה באור בשרו לנגע צרעת, והובא אל אהרון הכהן או אל אחד מבניו הכהנים. The pasuk starts and says, a man that he had leprosy, which is on the skin, so he has to come to the Kohen and he has to check it like a doctor. But he's a Kohen, he's not a doctor. And the question is, number one, why to go to a Kohen? If you have a problem with skin, you have to go to a skin doctor. Why you're coming to the Kohen? And another question that we have to understand here is that the Gemara paid attention to the word Adam ki yeh be'or besaro. The pasuk used the word Adam, and the Gemara in Masechet Yevamot, the Gemara says when the pasuk is using the word Adam, it means only Am Yisrael and not Goyim. As the pasuk, as the Gemara says, Adam, atem kroyim Adam, ve'ein umot ha'olam kroyim Adam. Comes out from here, from this pasuk, that if the Torah used the word Adam, excluding Goyim, means that by the Goyim, they have no tum'ah of tzara'at, of leprosy. And here asked Or HaChaim HaKadosh, do the Goyim above Am Yisrael, that Am Yisrael, they get leprosy and they are impure, and whatever they touch becomes impure. And the Goy, he is not. Explains Baal Or HaChaim and says, a Goy, all his essence is impurity. All the body is impure. And therefore, leprosy that comes on the skin doesn't makes any difference by him, because anyway he is impure. While Am Israel originally, they are pure people. And the Pasuk says here, where comes the leprosy? On the skin, means outside the body. And therefore, this is the difference between Am Israel and the Goyim. But still, we have here other questions. The Pasuk started with the word Adam. The Zohar HaKadosh, on this week's Parashat, in Daf Memchet, Amud Aleph, says the Zohar HaKadosh, a human being has several names. Adam, Enosh, Ish, Gever, and between all these names that a human being have, the best one and the highest one is the word Adam. As the Pasuk says in Bereshit, Ki betzelem Elokim asa et ha'adam. Means this is, and Adam is the highest, like Tzelem Elokim. This is the highest word. The Pasuk didn't use the Betzelem Elokim asa et ha'ish. Asa et ha'adam. And the question is here, we are taught, means this is, so comes out that Adam is a very, the highest name of a person. Means he's a very highly man. So if we are talking here about a person that he is impure, leprosy, so how come the Torah used here the highest way to describe him, Adam? The Pasuk should have used here the lowest way, not the highest way. This is the question that was asked by the Al-Sheikh HaKadosh. And the Al-Sheikh HaKadosh answers, and he says that a person that becomes impure by leprosy, he can be only a highly person. A goy is, he himself is impure, and therefore the leprosy doesn't make on him any impression. The impurity. Nothing here will stand against his impurity. While by Am Israel, they are highly people and they are pure people. So leprosy makes a big impression. And of course, this is only when we are talking about the Adam that the Torah meant. Ki betzelem Elokim asa et ha'adam. But a person that is not his behavior is not like Adam, means usually he is not like that. Leprosy will not affect him, and this would give us to understand also why nowadays we don't have leprosy that comes because of a sin of Lashon Hara. As the Gemara says in Masechet Erechim, that Metzora is like two names, Motzira. Motzira means speaks Lashon Hara. So nowadays we don't have people who speaks Lashon Hara. We have, but we don't have the Adam, says the Al-Sheikh HaKadosh. And since we don't have an Adam, we don't have leprosy. And since also by the Goyim, in the time of the Torah, they were not Adam, so therefore, by the Goyim, there is no leprosy also by the Goyim. But we have also another explanation. Why by Goyim we don't have leprosy by talking Lashon Hara, and by Am Yisrael we do have. The Goy, as we said, he doesn't speak Lashon Hara. He does. He speaks Lashon Hara. So why doesn't get leprosy? Explains the author of the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. He has a book which is called Apiryon. And in this book, he explains the following. When a person speaks Lashon Hara, what does he do? What the Lashon Hara does? The Lashon Hara causes a separation between people. And this is the reason why he gets a certain punishment. And what is the punishment of a person who spoke Lashon Hara and got leprosy? His punishment is Badad Yeshev Michutz Lamachane Moshavo. He is being separated from the community. This is Midah Keneged Midah. You, with your Lashon Hara, you caused a separation between people. People becomes angry one on the other. And people are being separated, so you will be also separated from the community. Therefore, your punishment is Badad Yeshev Michutz Lamachane Moshavo. Explains the Baal Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. The Goyim, the Lashon Hara doesn't affect. Why? Because the Goyim, originally, they are not one unit. They are separated one from the other. What can make them to become together is one goal. But originally, one is separated from the other. Leprosy doesn't affect here. While by Am Yisrael, since Am Yisrael is one unit, there are achdut in Am Yisrael, but they have different minds. But originally, they are one unit. So the talking of Lashon Hara has a big effect. It affects a lot. And therefore, by Am Yisrael, the person who speaks Lashon Hara, he gets leprosy. This is the reason why the pasuk started with the word Adam, as we said, to show us Atem Korim Adam, Am Yisrael Korim Adam, and all the other nations are not considered Adam. They have other names. They are being called other names. Ish. They're calling Ish, Gever, Enosh, but not Adam. Usually we read Parashat Tazria close to Pesach. Pesach, the meaning, the word Pesach is being explained by the Mefarshim as two words. Pesach, a mouth that talks. Mefarshim explains that the talking was a symbol of freedom. When we read in the Psukim about Am Yisrael in Egypt, we hear the words Vayiz'aku. Am Yisrael screamed to Borei Olam. Vaye'anchu. They made anacha, oivei, but we don't see that they prayed to Borei Olam, that they took out words from their mouth to Borei Olam, to speak to Borei Olam. Pesach, when they got their freedom, their mouth opened. So together with the freedom that Am Yisrael had, also the talking also got its freedom, and Am Yisrael started to speak. It's interesting that when we are looking in the beginning of Masechet Pesachim, explains the Mefarshim that the word Masechet Pesachim, the first Mishnah, starts Or ל-14 בודקים את החמץ. What is the meaning the word Or ל-14? The night before 14. And the Gemara was bothered. Why, if the meaning is the night before 14, so the Mishnah should have started with the words the night before 14, ליל 14, בודקים את החמץ. Why the Mishnah used the word Or ל-14? As if it means that the word Or is light. Or ל-14. And explains the Mefarshim that since Am Yisrael on Pesach, their speech, their power of talking also got its freedom, Chazal, the Torah, wanted to direct the person that he should speak only good things, only good words. And Laila, Leil, night, darkness, better to say Or ל-14 and not Leil 14, even though this is the meaning. But in order to direct the person not to speak Lashon Hara, not to speak bad, the Torah directed the person to speak in a nicer, clean way. And this is could be the reason why we have also, since the way of talking got its freedom, we have another thing in this Leila Seder which shows freedom. One of the things is that when we look on the structure of Haggadah Shel Pesach, we see that Haggadah Shel Pesach is built in a way of questions and answers. We have it in the beginning of the Haggadah. We have the 4 questions, Manishtana, and then we have also the 4 children. And the pasuk, the Baal Haggadah starts the language of every boy that speaks. Chacham Mahu Omer? Question mark. The Baal Haggadah didn't start Chacham Omer. Chacham Mahu Omer? Rasha Mahu Omer? Tam Mahu Omer? And after this we have other questions also. רבי יוסי הגלילי אומר, מניין אתה אומר שבמצרים לקו so and so מכות, ועל הים לקו so and so מכות. Again a question and an answer. And all the other 2 Rabbanim also that are mentioned there, also a question and an answer. And then we have close to before the meal, we have also other questions. פסח שהיו אבותינו אוכלים על שום מה, מצה זו שאנו אוכלים על שום מה, מרור זה שאנו אוכלים על שום מה. A lot of questions. Not only this, Baal Haggadah it was not sufficient for him, these questions. And he tried to cause the boys to ask more questions. This is one of the reasons that, for instance, we eat karpas, that the boy will ask a question. Why you eat karpas before the meal? In order to bring him to ask more questions. What is with these questions? And when we look in the Haggadah, it's difficult for us to find the answers for all the 4 questions. We don't see the answers so easily. The boy asked a question. Why not to answer him immediately? So Mefarshim means you have to choke yourself with Avadim Ayinu. This is the answer, but we don't have direct answers. Maybe we can say, beside the regular answer that is being answered, that it becomes more curious to a boy to hear an answer of a question than to just to give him, to tell him a story. It's better that it becomes through a question and an answer. He's more curious to know, it becomes more interesting. And we can bring a proof to this idea from the Rabbi Yehuda Nasi when he started the Mishnayot, Masechet Barachot. He didn't start with the words, קוראים את שמה משעה שהכהנים נכנסים לאכול בתרומתן. And Rabbi Yehuda Nasi started with a question, מתי קוראים את שמה בערבית? משעה שהכהנים נכנסים לאכול בתרומתן. He also started the Mishnayot with a question and gave an answer. But maybe we can say that this is also one of the symbols of freedom, that the person can ask a question. And this is a symbol of freedom. Because a slave, he cannot ask anything. And even if he will ask, he will not get an answer. And the Baal Haggadah means he brought even the question of the Derasha. This is a question that goes even against everything. Such a question also you can ask, because this is the symbol of freedom. Any question you can ask. And could be, because of this, the answers were pushed to all places in the Haggadah to show that it's more, could be, the questions are more important, are very important here. And this will give us to understand also the halacha, that why when the person doesn't have anyone in the house, the Mishnah, the Gemara says, if he doesn't have a son, his wife will ask. And if he doesn't have a wife, so he asks himself. What does it help if he asks himself? Answer to this is that even if you ask yourself, you are showing a symbol of freedom by asking the question. Because the questions are a symbol of freedom. This is the meaning of Pesach, that the mouth will talk and will speak a lot as a symbol of freedom. And this is the connection between Parashat Tazria and the days before Pesach. That Pesach is a way of talking, speak nice, direct your words to the right way. I want to wish everyone Bevrakat Shabbat Shalom. Mirza Hashem, next week we are going to speak about Haggadah Shel Pesach. Chazak Baruch to Abraham Shomer, and Chazak Baruch to Isaac Dweck. Mirza Hashem, everyone should have a Shabbat Shalom, and we'll meet next week.